Disease, let us all repeat this together, because this is a statement that you all should know, taken from Ministry of Healing, page 173 in some books, and online it's 128. Disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from the violation of the laws of health. What are the laws of health? Come on, everyone. Pure air, sunlight, abstention, rest, exercise, proper diet, the use of water, trust in divine power. These are the true remedies. Every person should have a knowledge of major media agencies and how to apply them. And this is also taken from Ministry of Healing. Now, so that means every Seventh-day Adventist are supposed to know those 8 laws of health. We sometimes use the acronym New Start or God's Plan. This is what the servant of the Lord wrote in Ministry of Healing, and why we use this instead of the acronym New Start. When you go to people, and if you go to someone and you start to speak to them about nutrition, most people don't want to hear about their diet. So they get turned off and they don't want to speak to you. If you go to them with the gospel from God's plan, they don't want to hear. But sometimes I have used this approach. I said, when was the last time have you had your blood pressure taken or your blood sugar? And they will look surprised and say, you know, it's a long time. And then we open a conversation right there. And I'm telling you, since we have been back here last year, we worked in Portland at Buff Bay Seventh-day Adventist Church. We have worked up in Bogle. And when we were in Portland, I saw something. I never knew that we Jamaicans are so sick. After being away for so long, I never knew. We had to send, the doctor had to write letters, and we sent quite a few people to the hospital because they had blood pressure of over 200, and they didn't know. And you know that's a heart attack, heart disease is a silent killer. It comes upon you. They had blood sugar of 300. These are people who are eating like 1 dozen dumplings for their breakfast. And when we asked to show the plate, I was like, talk to you more about that on Sabbath. They showed us some big things. And I mean that these are white flour that they're eating. And they eat no fruit, no vegetable. So people are sick, and people are in need of help. And each of us are supposed to be trained as medical missionaries that we can go out with the health message, the cutting edge, so that we can present the gospel. When you go out there as medical missionaries, when I go to the hospital, and we do a hot foot bath, and we lower that blood pressure. One lady, we went one day, my husband and I and 2 other brethren, us 2 ladies went into the room with her, and we did the hot foot bath because her blood pressure was 190 over 100 and about 20. She's on the verge of having a stroke. And I said to her, can we do a hot foot bath? And I told her what to get. And we did a hot foot bath for her. And believe you me, we sat there, the sister and I, we sang for 15 minutes. And we poured water and we applied the cold towel on the forehead, wrapped her in the sheet. We sang with her, we prayed with her. And believe you me, brethren, when we were finished, after 20 minutes, her blood pressure was almost normal at 130 over 90. She could not believe it. Now, we didn't have to invite her to church. She said, boy, I have to come and visit your church.
Amen.
So you see what the health message can do? Yeah. So when we know these laws of health and we put them into practice in our lives, then we can go out and we can heal. Jesus invites us to come and rest a while. And tonight I'm going to talk to you about rest. Rest is one of the 8 laws of health, and I say rest is the best.
Amen.
Question number 1, and you have your paper, I want you to fill in the answers because we like interaction, we like to speak to people. What does Genesis 2 verse 2 and 3 says to us about rest? And I'm going to put the text on the screen and we're going to read it together. Let us read. And on the 7th day, I don't hear you.
God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day.
Because that in it he had rested from all his work which he had created and worked. So what does tells us about rest? The answer is that God rested
Amen.
on the seventh day. Where do we find physical rest? Answer. It is in resting in God that we find physical rest.
Rest.
And we're going to look at a few texts. Matthew 11 verses 28 to 30 says, "Come unto me, come everybody,
All ye that
labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls, for my
yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Exodus 33 verse 14 tells you that my presence will go with thee, and I will give thee rest. So most importantly, it is spiritual rest that God wants us to have. Wants us to have both physical and spiritual rest. Did God keep his promise to Israel about giving them rest? Let's go to Joshua 21 verses 43 and 44. And I put the text on the screen. We always do this for interest of time. We use the King James Version, so we can all read together. Let's go. And the Lord gave unto Israel all the land which he sware to give unto their father. Come on, I'm not hearing you, brethren.
Lord gave unto Israel all the land which he sware to give unto their fathers, and they possessed it, and dwelt therein. And the Lord gave them rest round about, according to all that he sware unto their fathers. And there stood not a man of all their enemies before them. Lord delivered all their enemies into their hands.
So God promises people rest. So the answer for that is yes. God did keep his promise. And we know that God never lies, and he cannot lie. Hebrews 4 verses 4 to 11 also tells us about rest that God has given to his people. Let us read together. It's a long text, but we're going to read together.
For we,
On the seventh day, on this wise, and God did rest the seventh day from all his works.
and in this place again, my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached enter not in because of unbelief again. Again, he limited a certain day, saying in David, the day after so long a time, as it is said, today if he will hear his voice, harden not your heart. For if Jesus had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. For he that is entered into his rest, he also had ceased from his own works, as God did from his. Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief.
So God gave Israel rest. And today God has given us rest. He has given us the 7-day Sabbath that we can rest. We can rest physically from Friday evening, and on Sabbath we can rest from all our labors, all our cares, and spend that time with the Lord. If you have any question, you can ask. Just put your hand in the air. There is a daily choice that all of us have to make, and that is the invitation. That invitation comes daily for us to rest. Spiritual rest enables us to make right decisions. Now, can you make decisions when you're tired and weary, depressed, downtrodden? Do you find that you make good decisions?
No.
Amen. What are some physical effects from the lack of proper rest? And I'm going to put them on the board here, because when we do not rest, number one, it lowers the immune system. That's one of the things. You can write that in because there's a line there on your paper for it. That's question number 4. What are some physical effects from lack of proper rest? 1, it lowers the immune system. 2, lack of concentration. 3, you get hot-tempered or quick-tempered. 4, You get impatient. Children come to you. Don't bother me right now. I can't speak to you. I'm tired. You get fatigued. Can't sleep properly. And number 6, impaired cognitive performance. Now it is said that a man or woman who gets on the 5 hours of rest each night operate like a drunkard. A man who had a drink, rum to drink. And this is so true. It's found that many nurses who work the night shift and do not get proper rest, you find that they have a lot of accidents in the morning when they're going home because they're tired, they're fatigued, being up, especially those who work 12 hours. So these are some of the physical effects from proper rest. Lowers the immune system, lack of concentration, you're not able to get your thought process together, you get quick-tempered, you get impatient, fatigue, your judgment is impaired, impaired cognitive performance. You don't make right decisions, as we have said before. I'll give you a few more seconds to write these. Any questions so far? Have you ever found any of this happening to you when you do not rest? Yes. I worked night for 14 years, so I can tell you.
Yeah.
I found myself sleeping right at the stoplight. I stop, and it's when the other people, they're honking their horns, that I jump up and I said, Lord, I have to pull off the road and go somewhere, go into one of the plazas and get some rest before I can go on. So I knew I violated this law, and many people have violated this law, the law of rest. We take it very simple, but it's very important. Number 5, question number 5. How does insufficient rest affect shift workers? Those are people who work at night. Melatonin hormone is released between the hours of 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. when the body is at rest. So if the body is not at rest, you will not be able to make melatonin. And melatonin will help you to sleep. If you, I won't say that right now. Let me go ahead. What is melatonin? Melatonin is the body's natural antioxidant and a tumor suppressant, a cancer suppressant. That's melatonin. Studies in Denmark and the US show that in female, it increases breast cancer when you lack melatonin by 50 to 55%, and colon cancer in women by 45 to 50%, and for men, prostate cancer by 45% to 50%, and colon cancer by the same figure, 45 to 50%. And these are studies that really show that these figures are correct. This is what happened to us, especially shift workers who do not get proper rest. Cortisol is released at night when we are awake. Now cortisol is supposed to be in the day, but when you are awake at night, it's released. This should be higher in the morning and lower at night. It is like epinephrine hormone, adrenaline, a flight or fight. You know that when your adrenaline pumps up, it's like when you get frightened, your adrenaline pumps in, and then you either want to run or do something, or something happens to you. So this is what happens to you when shift workers do not get enough rest, and they end up having a lot of cortisol in their body. Now, look at the effects of cortisol. What does too much cortisol do to the body? Too much cortisol causes inflammation in the body, atherosclerosis, clogging of the arteries. Cortisol affects insulin activities, so diabetes sets in. There is a 55 to 60% chance of a person becoming a diabetic who has too much cortisol instead of melatonin. Heart rate is elevated, so blood pressure also is elevated. Higher levels of cortisol for over long-term stress increases also your triglycerides. blood sugar, blood pressure. These are common factors for heart disease. And we know heart disease is a silent killer.
Man.
One of the ladies that I spoke to about her condition, when I first met her and I said to her, when was the last time you had your blood pressure taken? And I took it, it was very high. It was like 175 over 100 and something. I said, did you know you have high blood pressure? She said, no. I said, I'm gonna come back and check your blood sugar tomorrow morning. What time can I come? She said, by 7. So I went and her blood sugar was 200 and something. I said, I checked it the day and it was 200 and something, but I said, let me check it in the morning because maybe because you had your breakfast already and you just have it like a half an hour ago. It's a spike. So when I went back the next morning at 7 o'clock, I made sure you keep your appointments, brethren. When you make appointments with people, don't disappoint them. I went back by 7 o'clock, I was at her home. And when I checked her blood sugar, it was 200 and something, and her blood pressure was like 195 over. I said to her, do you know that you have a heart? She said, no, but one thing I know, I can't go in the sun, because when I go into the sun, I get dizzy. I said to her, but the sun helps to lower the blood pressure, but she doesn't know that, because people tell her that when you go out into the sun, if you're on medication, and if you have unconventional medication, I should say, and you're taking high blood pressure medication, and you go out into the sun, you will feel dizzy, because guess what? The sun is going to lower the blood pressure. And that's why doctors tell people don't go in the sun, don't eat callaloo, because the iron in the callaloo level helps to lower the blood pressure. And they tell people these things because they want you to be on medication, and you will be on medication for the rest of your life. Because they won't take, you coming off it won't help the pharmacy. So the only person who's benefiting from these medications is the pharmacist. So when I spoke to this lady and I said to her, I want to encourage you, cut out your white flour, your white rice, your white sugar, and I encouraged her what to replace, use brown rice, use whole wheat flour, even though it's hydrolyzed wheat that we are getting right now. And I encourage her to put more fruits in and vegetables in her diet. And I went back 3 weeks after, and her blood sugar was like 140 something, that come down from 200 and something, and her blood pressure had come to 165 over 95, somewhere thereabout. And I said to her, are you doing the walk? And I said to her, walk in the morning. And the best time for us to go out in the sun, brethren, clothe yourself properly in light clothing, put a hat on your head, use some olive oil instead of, or coconut oil instead of sunscreen, which has a lot of chemicals. You go out in the sun between 10 to 3. Doctors tell you that's the time you're not to go out. That's the time you need to go out and get that sunlight to lower that blood pressure, to help you with your blood sugar. And then they tell you the opposite of what will help you. So if you follow these laws, you will get, and proper rest, because I told her, I said, what time do you go to bed at night? 1 o'clock. What time do you wake up? 5, 6 o'clock, so she's not getting a lot of sleep. So rest was important. Yes, Master?
2 questions.
Yes, sir. Hope I'll be able to answer them, because if I don't, I will tell you now.
Sure.
Yes.
What recommendation do you have for someone who works in a system where they have shifts? For example, my wife is not here this evening because she works at the hospital. And it is required of her, she describes it by saying, she is paid to be on call. So whenever they say, we need you, and also with our sense of duty and desire to help, there are times when the staff is short, and she may be asked by the matron to work another shift. So she does that maybe twice per week, and that is not good for her.
Amen.
But seeing that this is her work, what can she do
You want me to tell you the truth to that pastor?
Yeah,
I
sure.
would tell her to change her profession. And that's why I'm a nursing assistant, a certified nursing assistant. I worked in the hospitals in the US. I worked like from 11 to 7. Sometimes I work from 7 to 7. And then nobody comes to release me, and I'm there till 7 again. So I am there 24 hours. Sometimes I have to take a shower. I normally carry extra clothes in my car. And sometimes I have to take a shower in the bath, in the hospital, which I don't want to do, because and we have to be there. But one of the things, I know it's our livelihood, and I know, but you have to consider the latter end. Because as I gave you the figures about the diabetes, I ended up with diabetes. And I ended up with a blood sugar of 493. And when I went to the doctor, he said, I'm going to give you insulin. I said, I will take no such thing. He said, okay, sit here, Janet. I called 911, and they took you to the hospital. Because I didn't take it. I was itching all over. I was feeling sick. I didn't know what was happening. And I said, let me go to the doctor. My friend came and said, because you're itching all over, let me take your blood sugar. And when she did it, she said, 515? She said, no. I think my machine is wrong. Let me go for another machine. Now, Gretchen, I was on the verge of going into a coma, a diabetic coma, and I didn't know. And then she came back with another machine, and it says 493. And she said, Janet, you have to go to the doctor. I said, why? She said, this is diabetes. And I took it as a joke. I went to the doctor the next day. When I went, it was 490 something. And the doctor said he was going to give me 5 units of insulin. No, I don't take medication, Gretchen, and I don't believe in it. But he said, you have a choice. It's either you take it, or I get the ambulance to take you out of here, because I'm not letting you out of my office. Because if I do, I will be held responsible for what happens. And they are very serious in the US about this. So I took the insulin. He said, go home and rest. You know what I did, brethren? I went to work. I said, yeah, I'm going to work. I'm going home. But I didn't tell him I'm going home after I went to work for 4 hours. And while driving, this insulin started working in my body. I started feeling dizzy and sleepy. And when I was there for the 4 hours, I felt so sick. I took a chance and I went home. And that thing dropped my blood sugar from 93 to 83 by the next day. My body, I'd refuse it. And this is a personal experience I'm telling you, Pastor. When I went back to the doctor and my husband had to take me, 2 more days after I could not see, I was blind. And that was the insulin and the diabetes, because the sugar dropped so quickly, so fast, I started having it. So when I went to the doctor, he said, there's nothing I can do for you. The body has to repair itself. But don't take the medication anymore. And he said, now that you're taking metformin, which is a dangerous drug, he said, now that you started, I have to put you on half. I said, I'm not going to take that thing, because I felt so sick. So I went to the ophthalmologist, and Brethren, he tested my eyes, and he said, there's nothing I can do. It will reverse itself. And I was a Sabbath school superintendent, and for that Sabbath, my husband had to stand beside me, because when I said to my husband the morning I got up the next morning, I said, I can't see you. I can only see shadows. He was laughing. He thought I was joking. I said, I'm not joking. I cannot see. And when he saw me feeling, because I know my house, and I started feeling around the furniture, that's when he realized how bad this thing was. And this is all, brethren, from lack of proper rest. So I had to take that medication for like 1 week. I took it. So it's a dangerous thing, Pastor. She may be asked to do it another job, but sometimes you have to consider changing your occupation.
Amen.
To save your own life.
Amen.
We know we need the finances. We have the mortgage to pay, the car loans to pay, and everything. But consider our health. If we drop dead, how is it going to be?
But while there's finance and mortgage, but on the other side, when you think of a hospital, where people need care
Yes.
24/7,
Yes.
is there some middle ground sacrifice?
That's another thing. You make the sacrifice at the expense of your health. That's it. It's like between a rock and a hard place. I understand. Because it's very hard. It's a hard decision to make. Because people need help. But if you're not healthy, you won't be able to take care of them. And that's why I said to my husband, I am going home. I'm not staying in this country any longer. I'm not waiting for no pension, no nothing. I said, I am going home. I have my house locked up in Uldar. And I said, this is enough is enough. And I had to work on this diabetes until I can get it controlled by diet, exercise, proper rest. Being in America, you cannot rest because when you have rent to pay for like $1,500 a month, you have water, you have light, you have car insurance, you have house insurance, you have all these expenses. You're tempted to work. So I had to make a decision to come home. So sometime my boss, 3 weeks ago, one of my boss called me, Janet, when are you coming back? I said, I don't know. Because she said, I can't get anybody to work like you work. There's nobody. Yes, but I had to consider my head pastor. So
Yeah,
I
man.
know people in the hospital, they need help. But we have to consider too the long-term effect of it all.
Amen.
Because I did not reverse my diabetes just overnight. It takes time. And I'm doing it the natural way. I've done it the natural way because I do not take medication. And this thing can give you heart disease. And as the other diseases that high blood pressure, well, thank God I don't have those. And my cholesterol is okay so far. Yes, dear.
Yes, we have a friend, remember Chef, who tell us that what you could do in the mornings, like 10 o'clock when you come home,
Yes.
you draw the curtains, you turn off all the lights, and you go to sleep. But you have to get it in the morning, like what, 10 to 10 to
Well,
2.
This is not a proven, it's not studies that are proven it. It's just a suggestion that if she works at night and she comes home in the morning, between 10 and 2, create an atmosphere of darkness, of night in the room. No light, no cell phone in the room. Create an atmosphere, and between 10 and 2, the body helps to get back that melatonin that she lost. But it's not a proven fact. It's just a suggestion that one of our friends as a medical missionary was suggesting that we do. And you get this sleep, that time, undisturbed sleep, between those hours.
It's not the same, but it's helpful.
It's helpful, it helps, because that's what I used to do. I used to try to go home, and it helps, because you rest, and then walk. Walk, brethren. You need to walk. If you find yourself working at night, not when you get up and she eats, she needs to walk and get your exercise. Yes, sir. Somebody had their hand around the back? Sorry. Okay, Pastor, you can go ahead.
You made mention that the pharmacy or the pharmacists, they are the ones really benefiting.
The drug company, I should say, and the farm, yes.
The short
Pharmaceuticals.
Right, so the short question is this. Is there a conspiracy?
I'm telling you, a lot of people have said that, Pastor, and I think it's true.
Yes.
Let me tell you, they don't care about your health. Right now in America, metformin is given free because it's poison and it kills you. And they tell you that once you come out, you go on metformin, you cannot get off it. Glipizide is given free. Antibiotics is given free. You can go to Publix, Walmart with your prescription. It's free. Why are they giving it free? Because they know that it doesn't work, and it's a life. It's a thing that poisons the system. So they say it's a conspiracy theory because between the pharmacists and the doctors. And the doctors push these things because they get perks from the pharmaceutical
Yes.
companies. You understand?
It's all
So
about
they do.
money.
And it's all about money. And the first thing you do when you go to doctor, they let you know you'll have to be on this for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Simply means that the moment you come off, your sickness, unless you do the alternative. Somebody else had their hand up over here? I thought somebody else, okay.
The food industry might be a part of that conspiracy as
The,
well.
they?
Food industry.
Oh, SDA?
Because
Oh,
the
God.
food, they're going to be selling you all these bad foods, tasty but bad. That's going to cause you to get sick.
Yes.
That's going to require you to go to the doctor to
Amen.
get a prescription. So it's like they are all
Conspiring
they're the ones
to kill out the race.
making the money.
Let me tell you something about
Doctors,
organic.
drug
You see, in America, you can get an organic license for $10. $10. And you put anything and put the label organic on it. And they found out that Whole Foods was selling. I was buying Whole Food things and they're the most expensive. I was going to Whole Foods thinking that I'm doing myself good. Only to hear that somebody did some investigation and found out that Whole Foods, yes, they had that organic, then they had made in China and the little writing around the back. So when it was questioned and the news reporter went and they asked them, how come it is made? They said, oh, we buy it from a third party. So they don't know where the food is coming from. And they're selling it as organic.
Man.
So you see, brethren, it's like a conspiracy to kill out the race. And you know who get the worst foods in America? Black people. When you go into Presidente and you see the type of food, your stomach is sick. When you go into Publix and Walmart, they spray them and you see the mist going down and you think those foods you think they're fresh? They're not fresh. It's chemicals that they're spraying on them to keep them fresh. And brethren, we do all these things. So may the Lord have mercy upon us. And that's why we are admonished to go to the country and plant and grow our own foods. And that will help. If no other question, I will move on from here because I don't want to keep you here too long. But it's a serious thing, brethren, this medication thing and the lack of rest. And she as a nurse can tell you, Pastor, that what we're saying here about the cortisol, about the melatonin, that is true. What lifestyle changes should we make? Number one, avoid television and computers 1 hour before bedtime. And I know this is where a lot of us will have problems. 1 hour
Facebook,
before bedtime.
WhatsApp.
The bright lights from the TV and the computer stimulates the brain. Don't sleep with your cell phones near or under your pillows. This can cause cancer and even damage your brain. Your pillow could catch a fire, and this actually happened in Texas to a young person who put the cell phone under the pillow, sleeping, and smelled the smoke. Luckily, he smelled the smoke and time and jumped up. It was the phone catching a fire. And one of the reasons why that is, you must know that radiation is emitted due to transmission of signal around 900 megahertz. And radiation can damage your brain. Now, you're advised, or we are suggesting that you sleep with the cell phones out of the bedroom. Because if you sleep with it in the bedroom, even on the floor, remember that the radiation activity passes through you to reach the phone. We'll notice that when you go to do an X-ray, what they do, they put on the guard, or the person doing the X-ray go behind the door, and then they click the button because they don't want the exposure. So whenever I'm doing an X-ray in America, I say to them,